Chosen one, you have climbed further than 99% of the ones who started to look back down the path. If you could see it all tonight, you would see how many turned around at the first storm, how many walked back at round 3, how many made camp at round 5 and called it the final answer. But you kept going. You passed round 7. And the reason you are hearing this voice right now, at this exact hour of your life, is because heaven has been watching your ascent. This is not a casual message. This is a witness being spoken over you. The Father has been counting every step you did not take back. Every morning you rose when your soul said, "Stay in bed." Every prayer you whispered when silence felt like the only response. And now, you stand at the edge of something most will never see. The final round is not more of the same climb. It is the threshold itself. And tonight, I am going to show you exactly what round 8 requires and why you were prepared for it before the first round even began. Before we go further, one honest note. Everything in the next 40 minutes is free, fully, nothing held back. But if at some point along the way, your spirit tells you there is more you need for the final round, the link is in the description and pinned comment below, only if you feel led. Now, let me show you the mountain, because the image I am about to give you will hold everything else I say for the rest of this message. Picture it in your mind. A single mountain rising above the clouds, not one day of climbing. 8 camps, 8 rounds. Every chosen one who was ever called began at the base of this mountain. At the start, there were many, thousands of you, tens of thousands, and the base camp was loud. It was full of energy. Everyone was talking about how far they were going to go, how bright the summit was going to be when they reached it. Camp 1, Camp 2. Almost everyone is still there. The excitement is fresh. This is the honeymoon of being called. Then round 3 arrives, and the weather changes. A storm rolls in that nobody warned you about. The first wave leaves here. Some of them tell themselves they were never really called in the first place. Camp 4. The air gets thin. The path gets narrow. This is where most of the ones who started actually turn back. And here is what most of them tell themselves as they walk back down. They call it discernment. They say the path was not for them. What it really was altitude. But altitude feels like failure. If no one has told you, it is supposed to feel this way. Camp 5, Camp 6. The cold sets in. The people around you are fewer, quieter. And then round 7, the cruelest camp of them all. Because from Camp 7, you can see the summit. You can see it. And that is the camp where most of the remaining ones stop. They look up, they see the top, and something in them says, "This is far enough. I have come further than almost anyone. This is good enough." But you did not stop at 7. You are still here. And tonight, I want to say the thing that no one has said to you out loud yet. You are tired, not ordinary tired. You are tired in a way the people at Camp 2 would not even recognize. You are tired in a way that does not respond to sleep anymore, the way it used to. You are tired in a way that has, some mornings, felt like a second body you are carrying around. And here is the truth about that tiredness. It is not weakness. It is not failure. It is not a signal that you took a wrong turn somewhere back at Camp 5. The tiredness you are carrying is exactly the kind of tiredness that altitude produces in people who keep climbing. It is the tiredness of thin air and sustained effort and standing at an elevation most will never stand at. Which means the tiredness itself is evidence. Evidence that you are where you said you were. Evidence that you did the work required. Evidence that you did not fake your way up this mountain. Stay with me to the end of this message, because by the time we finish together, 3 things will be clear to you that are not clear yet. The first thing you will know is what the 7 rounds were actually measuring underneath what they looked like on the surface. You will see the hidden instruction you have been obeying without knowing you were obeying it. The second thing you will know is the specific shift round 8 requires and why round 8 is not harder than round 7. It is different, and the difference is the reason so many stop here. And the third thing is the tool, the one built for this exact hour of the climb. I will walk you through why it exists, who built it, and how it does the crossing work when your own strength has run out. Nothing is held back. Everything is given. But it only lands for the ones who stay. Now, let me walk you back through what you have actually come through, not the whole climb, just the first 3 rounds. Because those are the rounds most people forget the shape of. Round 1. Do you remember it? That was the round when the pull began, a pull you could not explain to anyone around you. You started noticing things the people at your table could not see. A song would play, and you would feel something the others did not feel. A book would fall open to a specific page, and the words would land on you like they had been written for you specifically. A stranger would say a sentence that seemed to be answering a question you had only asked in private. You were being called, and even in round 1, before you had any framework for what it meant, you knew the pull was real. You could not prove it to anyone. Some days you could not even prove it to yourself, but the pull stayed. Round 2. That was when the first no arrived. A door closed that you were certain was the door. A relationship ended in a way you did not choose. A job fell through after you had already built your next year around it. A plan collapsed without warning. You grieved it. You had every right to grieve it. And then, slowly, over weeks or over months, you began to see it. The thing that closed was not the thing you were meant to walk through. The closing itself was part of the call. You could not see the other door until the first one had shut. Round 3. This was the first quiet leaving, the first lonely season. The people you had walked with up to that point stopped being the people who could walk with you. There was no betrayal, no dramatic exit. They just could not reach you anymore. Their conversations stopped feeding you. Their advice started to feel small against what you were actually carrying. You did not leave them on purpose. You looked up one morning and realized you were walking on a different path, and they had stayed on the one you started on. And around this time, something else began happening. A specific number began showing up on clocks. A phrase you had never noticed would show up in 3 unrelated places in a single week. You dismissed it the first time. By the 5th time, you were paying attention. And I hear the Father saying, over you, at this exact hour. I saw every one of those rounds. I saw the quiet leaving of the ones who could not hold you. I saw the grief you carried for them in silence, for months after they had gone. I saw the prayer you whispered when the door closed, and you did not know why. I saw the morning you got up anyway, even though the reason you had built your life around had just dissolved in your hands. None of it was wasted. All of it was witnessed. Every step you did not walk back down counted. But rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the rounds most people do not know they passed. Those are the rounds the 99% walked back down from. And those are the rounds that were measuring something you did not even know was being measured. That is where we go next, because you did not find this message tonight. This message was placed exactly where you would walk, because the hour of your doubt was coming, and you needed a witness when it arrived. Take a breath. Before I name the rounds, most people forget they walked. I want you to stand for a moment on what you have already received. Round 1 was the pull. Round 2 was the first no. Round 3 was the quiet leaving. Those are the rounds that even some of the 99% do walk, even the ones who turn around at round 4. The cost of rounds 1 through 3 is real, but it was not what turned the majority back. It was rounds 4 through 7 that did the thinning. Round 4. This was the wilderness season of non-arrival. You did everything right. You had aligned. You had surrendered. You had released. You had done the practice. And nothing moved. Weeks turned into months, and the outer world did not shift. The mail did not bring the opening. The phone did not ring. The doors you had prayed for did not open. The test of round 4 was whether you would stay faithful in a season that refused to reward your faithfulness on its own schedule. That is, the round where many of the ones who started turned and went back. Not because they lost their faith, because the silence was longer than their strategy for handling silence. Round 5. This was the relationship that had to be released, even though the relationship was not bad. They did not hurt you. They did not betray you. They just could not walk where you were being called. The test of round 5 was whether you could honor what had been and still walk forward from it, without making them wrong for not coming with you. Most people fail this test by making the other person wrong, because making them wrong makes the leaving easier. You did not do that. You let them be who they were, and you walked. That cost something real. Round 6. This was the identity attack. Someone who mattered to you named you as the problem. They pointed at you and said, "You are what is wrong here." And the test of round 6 was whether you could stand in what you actually knew to be true without needing them to agree with you. Whether you could be misread and not collapse under the misreading. Round 7, the quietest of all. The one nobody saw. Round 7 was the morning you decided not to walk away. When walking away would have been understood by everyone, you almost left. You were going to leave, and something held you. You did not know what. You still do not know what. You just did not walk. You passed round 7. Now, let me tell you about a man on a different mountain. His name was Joshua, and the thing standing between him and what had been promised was a city called Jericho. Walled, sealed, ancient, unbreachable by the standards of any army of that time. Joshua had been given the assignment to take the city, and the instruction he received was not a military instruction. The instruction was this: circle the city once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, circle it 7 times. And throughout all of this, do not speak. The whole people silent. Every day, the same round. Every day, no visible result. Every day, the walls still standing, and the people inside the walls watching this strange ritual from above, probably laughing. 6 days of this. 6 days of doing the thing that made no tactical sense. 6 days of no result. Now think about what that was actually building. It was not building endurance. because walking in a circle once a day is not endurance work. It was not building strategy, because the strategy did not make sense from the outside. What it was building was a specific kind of obedience. Eva, obedience as witness. The ability to move when the one who called you says move, even when the moving looks like nothing from the outside. 7 days of circling, 7 rounds. And then, on the 7th day, at the 7th circle, they were told to shout. The walls fell, not because the shout was loud, not because the army was strong. The walls fell because the ground under them had been sealed by 7 days of a specific frequency, walked around them. The frequency of a people who had learned to obey in silence when obedience looked like nothing. And this is the pattern, chosen one. The pattern is not that your walls fall tomorrow because of what I am about to say. The pattern is that round 7 is the round that builds the specific frequency the walls respond to. You have been walking that frequency without knowing what you were building. Round 7 sealed it. There is a word in the original Hebrew for 7. The word is Sheba, and Sheba comes from a root that also means something else, to swear an oath, specifically to bind oneself by oath through a 7-fold action. In the ancient world, if you wanted to swear the deepest oath a person could swear, you did not swear it once, you swore it 7-fold. You did the thing, or spoke the thing, 7 times. The completion of the 7th was the seal of the oath. The language knew what the practice knew. 7 was not just a number. 7 was the number of oath, sealed. Now, apply that to where you stand tonight. Every round you walked without knowing you were walking it was an oath being sworn. You did not speak the oath out loud. You did not know you were swearing anything. You just kept walking. And every round added another layer to an oath being sworn through your feet, through your tears, through your rising in the morning when there was no reason to rise. The 99% who walked back down the mountain walked back down before the oath was sealed. That is not a moral judgment on them. It is just the truth about oaths. An oath sworn 6-fold is not an oath yet. It takes the 7th to seal it. You walked the 7th, which means the tiredness you are feeling tonight is not the tiredness of someone whose journey has only just begun. The tiredness you are feeling is the tiredness of an oath completed. You gave the full measure. That is why you feel empty. Empty is what a vessel looks like after it has poured what it was built to pour. And now let me name the hidden measure. What felt like abandonment at round 5 was actually the Father clearing the room of the people who could not hold what was coming. They were not being punished. You were not being punished. The room was being prepared. What felt like delay at round 4 was actually the interval required for the oath to take. An oath sworn under immediate reward is not an oath. It is a transaction. The delay is what makes the oath an oath. What felt like silence across round 6 was actually the period of witness. You were not being ignored by heaven. You were being seen by heaven. Silence from the outside was attention from the inside. You just did not yet have the language for the difference. What felt like self-doubt throughout round 7 was actually the humility required for round 8 to be received without ego. If you had arrived at round 8 feeling certain, you would not have been able to receive what round 8 actually is. The doubt was preparation. Humility is the only posture round 8 can be received in. The rounds were oaths. You did not know you were swearing them. You just kept walking. And on the 7th round, the oath was sealed. You are not exhausted because you failed. You are exhausted because a sevenfold oath is heavy work, and the work is done. Before we go forward, there is something you need to release. Some of you have been carrying guilt about the people who did not make it to where you are now. Guilt about the relationships you had to release at round 5. Guilt about the ones who used to walk with you in round 1, who are still somewhere back at camp 3. And you wonder, in the quiet hours, if it would have been kinder to stay there with them. Let me speak to that directly. You are allowed to have outpaced the people who started with you at round 1. You are allowed to grieve the ones who turned back without carrying the responsibility for their return. You are allowed to walk forward at your speed, even if the ones who loved you at round 1 can no longer see you from where they stopped. You are allowed to cross the threshold without waiting for permission from anyone still on the path behind you. Their journey is theirs. Your crossing is yours. Carrying them on your back was never the assignment. The assignment was to walk. Let me stop here for a moment. You have been listening to this for almost 16 minutes now. I do not want to pour anything more onto you before I give you a moment to notice what has already landed. If you need to pause this and come back to it, pause. If you need to sit with round 7 for a full day before we go forward into round 8, sit. I am not in a hurry, and neither is the one who placed this message where you would walk. Take one breath, a real one, not dramatic, just one. Now, because there is something specific I want to tell you next, let me continue. Take a breath. And now that you can see what the rounds were actually measuring, I want to show you where you stand today. And I want to name the specific tiredness you are feeling right now, the tiredness of an oath completed, and show you why it is the exact signal that round 8 has already begun. You came into this message tonight carrying something specific. Let me name it. You are exhausted in a way that does not respond to rest. You are doubting yourself in a way you have not doubted yourself before, not because you are weaker, but because you are closer. And proximity does something to doubt. The closer you get to the actual threshold, the louder the doubt gets. That is not a bug. That is the mountain. You have also been hypersensitive lately. What used to feel like background noise, people's energy in the room, a crowd in a public space. The emotional weight of a conversation now feels like intrusion. You need quieter rooms than you used to need. You need more space. And you have been wondering if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are at altitude. Altitude amplifies signal. Your sensitivity is not a disorder. It is a tool that has come online because the tool is required for round 8. You have also been knowing things before they happen. Small things, big things. You know a phone call is coming before the phone rings. You know how a conversation is going to go before it starts. Sometimes it is a gift. Sometimes it is a burden, because knowing before the room knows puts you in a strange position. You are always slightly alone in the knowing. Let me say this plainly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. I want to tell you about someone. A woman, late 40s. She walked rounds 1 through 6 over the course of many years. By the time she reached round 6, she was so tired that even the language of spiritual journey had started to feel like a lie she had told herself. She had done the work. She had prayed the prayers. She had made the decisions nobody else understood. And she was empty. At round 7, she almost walked away. And when I say almost, I mean she had packed a bag. She had a destination. She had told herself she was going to go back to a version of her life she had left behind in round 2, because at least that version was familiar. And familiar had started to feel safer than whatever she was walking toward. And here is what stopped her. It was not a revelation. It was not a prayer answered dramatically. It was a quiet recognition. Sitting at her kitchen table at 4 in the morning, the thought arrived like this. What if the exhaustion is not evidence that I failed? What if the exhaustion is evidence that I arrived? What if I am not supposed to try harder? What if I am supposed to stop trying? What if the part that was mine to do is actually done? She unpacked the bag. She did not do anything else for a week. She just sat. And in the sitting, something started to lift. Not because she worked at it, because she finally stopped working at it. She had not failed at round 7. She had finished it. She just did not know what finishing looked like. And here is why I am telling you this story, right now, at this exact point in the message. What she learned, what the exhaustion itself was trying to teach her, is not a lesson that can be fully received from the outside alone. It is a shift that happens at the level of the nervous system, a shift from the climbing state to the receiving state. And most adults, by the time they reach round 7, have been running a climbing nervous system for so long that they cannot find the receiving state on their own anymore, no matter how much they want to. There is a tool that does that work for you. It is called the Genius Song. It was built by a neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake. And what it does, in a very simple way, is use a form of brain entrainment to activate a specific frequency in the brain called gamma, the frequency associated with natural insight, flow states, and the specific kind of open attention that receiving requires. This has been measured at institutions including MIT and Princeton. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. There is no rush. If your spirit is already telling you, this is the tool for this hour of your walk, the door is there for you. But I do not want you to decide anything right now. Stay with me for the rest of this message, because there is more you need to understand about round 8 itself before any tool, including this one, can do its full work. For those staying, and most of you are staying, let me walk you into the next layer, because understanding where you stand is not complete without what I am about to show you about round 8 itself. Round 8 is not a place you are heading toward. It is a place you are already inside. That is the part almost every person who reaches this altitude misses. They stand at Camp 7, look up at the summit, and keep waiting for round 8 to begin. They spend months, sometimes years, waiting. They ask God when. They scan their lives for the signal. They brace for impact. And the whole time, round 8 is not arriving in the way they are expecting, because round 8 is not arrival. Round 8 is the unfolding of what was already sealed. The climbing part is over. That is the thing almost nobody believes when it first gets said to them. You keep climbing in your head because climbing is what you know. The nervous system does not yet believe that the climb is done, but the climb is done. Round 8 is not doing, it is receiving. And receiving, for a person who has had to be strong through 7 rounds of altitude, is the single hardest thing you will ever be asked to do. Not because it is complicated, because it requires you to do the one thing you taught yourself, round by round, you could not do, which is to stop adding effort, and trust that what is walking toward you does not need your help to find you. Now, I need to name something with you. because if I do not, you may not see it when it arrives. There is a temptation at this altitude, a real one. It is the temptation to blow something up right at the threshold. Pick a fight with the person who has stood by you the whole climb. Manufacture a reason the crossing is not quite right yet. Convince yourself that round 7 did not really count, and you need to repeat it properly this time. Find a new obstacle to push against, because pushing against an obstacle is familiar, and arrival is not. This is not moral failure. This is nervous system. The nervous system that carried you through rounds 1 through 7 was a climbing nervous system, and it knows how to handle resistance. It does not know how to handle arrival. And when arrival is what is in front of it, it will sometimes try to manufacture resistance just so it has something familiar to do. The belief underneath the sabotage is simple. I do not know who I am without the climb. Hold that belief gently. We are going to release it in a few minutes. But first, I want you to see it, name it, and know that if it shows up in the next days or weeks, it is not proof that you were not supposed to cross. It is the echo of a nervous system that has not yet believed the climbing is over. But before I show you how to cross without sabotaging your own arrival, I want to walk you through what round 8 actually looks like from the inside, not the theory, the lived shape of it. That is where we go next. Let me show you what round 8 actually looks like from the inside, because it is not what most people expect. The first marker of having entered round 8 is that your decisions get quiet. You stop agonizing for weeks over things that used to require committees of friends and endless journal entries. Clarity arrives pre-installed. You will find yourself making a decision you would have taken a month to make, and the decision will happen in 30 seconds. And the 30 seconds will feel lighter than the month ever did. You will sometimes distrust the lightness. That is the echo of round 7. But the lightness is not laziness. The lightness is alignment. And that is what round 8 is. The second marker is that your relationships start reorganizing without your effort. Aligned people find you. Misaligned people step back on their own. Both movements feel obvious. Both movements feel clean. You do not have to end relationships anymore. You do not have to chase relationships anymore. The right room's open and the wrong room's empty, and you are not managing any of it. It is one of the strangest experiences for someone who had to fight through rounds 4 and 5, the fact that round 8 does not require fighting for any of it, and that is what round 8 is. The third marker is that what used to feel like forcing becomes the ability to name. You stop trying to make things happen. You start naming what already is. And when you name what is, reality rearranges around the naming. This is not manifestation in the shallow sense. This is the specific authority that round 7 built in you through silence. You gained the right to speak what is, because you stopped speaking what you wanted it to be. And that is what round 8 is. The fourth marker is that you stop needing to explain yourself, not because you have become hardened, because the people who required the explanation are no longer in the room. The room itself has changed, and the new room does not require the explanation. You will find yourself sitting in conversations that you used to exhaust yourself translating into, and you will not be translating anymore. You will just be present. That is what round 8 is. The fifth marker is that provision arrives through doors you did not knock on, not because you stopped working, because the working changed from pushing to placing. You stopped pushing rocks up the hill and you started placing what needed to be placed in the locations it needed to go. And the placing yields what the pushing never yielded. And I hear the Father saying, over this hour of your life, I did not build the 7 rounds to leave you empty at the 8th. I built the 7 to teach your hands how to open. Every round tightened your grip on something and then asked you to release it. Every round taught your hands a little more of what it means to hold without grasping. The climbing of rounds 1 through 7 was never the point. The learning of how to let go while still walking forward, that was the point. You are ready. Round 8 is not crossing into another season. It is the season walking into you. Before I give you the tool that helps you cross, and I will give it to you, there is one more thing I need to name. The thing the 99% did not know about receiving. Because without this, even having the right tool will not cross you. Let me name it now, and then I will hand you both. The 99% who reached this altitude and could not cross did not fail to receive because they were unworthy. They failed because they did not know what they were being handed. They mistook the gift for another test. They kept bracing. Receiving is not passive. That is the first thing nobody tells you. Receiving is an active posture, but the activity is happening on a different level than climbing activity. Climbing activity happens at the muscular level, the willpower level, the persistence level. Receiving activity happens at the level of the nervous system. Specifically, at the level of what state your brain is in when the gift arrives. And here is the problem for someone who just walked 7 rounds of altitude. The brain state that allows receiving is not the same brain state that got you through the climb. The climb required high alertness, readiness to push, threat monitoring, endurance management. Receiving requires something almost opposite, a state of open attention that the climb itself deconditioned you out of. It is not a character flaw that receiving is hard for you. It is a neurological fact. The life you have lived between the age of 7 and today has systematically rewired your nervous system away from the state that receiving requires. Nobody told you this. It has cost a lot of people the crossing. Let me gather what I have said and put it plainly. In the last 25 minutes, I have walked you through why the 7 rounds you passed were not tests of endurance. They were oaths in disguise. Each round added a layer to an identity that round 8 was designed to receive. That is, the why. I have named the specific shift round 8 requires. The shift from climbing to receiving, from earning to opening, from proving to standing. And I named why the 99% who reach this point do not cross. They try to receive using the same activation state that carried them through rounds 1 through 7. That is the what. You are a chosen one who has already completed the oath. The climbing is done. What remains is one skill entering the specific brain state that makes receiving possible. That is the work of round 8. And that is where I will close this message. By handing you the tool that does that work when your own exhaustion has made it impossible to do on your own. That is the who. A neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years of his career studying one specific brainwave, gamma. What he found, working alongside researchers at MIT, Princeton, and several other leading institutions, is that gamma is the dominant brainwave of children up until about the age of 7. Around that age, systematically, across cultures, across income levels, across geography, gamma begins to decline. The researchers called it the decline effect. It is one of the more consistent findings in the field, and almost nobody outside the field has heard of it. What gamma is associated with when it is active is this natural insight, flow states. The open attention receiving state I just described to you. The specific frequency prayer is heard in when people describe prayer as an experience rather than an intellectual activity. It is not a spiritual idea. It is measurable on an electroencephalogram, and it has been measured for decades. Here is what Dr. Lake also found. Gamma can be reactivated, not through effort, not through meditation alone, because meditation is a muscle that has also been deconditioned for most adults at this altitude. It can be reactivated through a very specific technology called brain entrainment, where an audio signal gently pulls the brain back toward the gamma frequency, the way a tuning fork pulls a string back into tune. It is passive. You listen. You do not do anything. Dr. Lake mapped more than one piece of the restoration. Today, I am only going to hand you the first piece, because that is how the sequence works. The piece he built for people in exactly your position, people who have walked the 7 rounds and stand at the threshold of the 8th, is a 7-minute audio track. He called it the Genius Song. Before I tell you the price, I need you to understand who you are in this. Chosen ones carry the gamma frequency in a specific way. It was not just suppressed in you the way it was suppressed in most. It was also more resilient in you than in most. The 7 rounds kept it alive in dormancy. But dormant is not activated. What you need is not the restoration of something that was lost. It is the awakening of something that has been preserved. Remember earlier when I mentioned the Genius Song to you? Now it is time to walk you through exactly what it does. A teacher who had been walking with this message for 6 months wrote to me recently. She had done everything she knew. Meditation, apps, retreats, therapy. Nothing moved the needle on the fog she had lived in since round 6. She tried this tool. 7 minutes a day. By the 3rd week, she described a clarity that had been gone for 5 years. She later told me she had begun exploring the longer phases of Dr. Lake's work, something called neuroactive. But she kept coming back to this first piece as the doorway. Some of you have tried everything, and this is starting to sound like one more entry on the list. It is not. Meditation and yoga and healing sounds all require the brain to change itself from the inside. Brain entrainment works from the outside in, faster, measurable, and it does not require you to have the focus you do not have right now. Some of you are wondering if this is real. It has been measured in over 18,000 trials, and fewer than 4 out of every 100 users have requested the refund that is available to them. And some of you are thinking about the price. $39 is real money to real people. I would never disrespect that. Let me show you why I still say, this is the soundest decision you will make this quarter. You have probably already spent money in this general territory. A meditation app subscription runs about $15 a month, month after month. An online mindfulness course runs $100 to $200. A weekend retreat runs $400 to $800. A single therapy session runs about $150. And at the clinical end, biofeedback therapy runs around $300 per session across weeks of repeated visits. None of those tools target gamma specifically. None of them do what brain entrainment does. Dr. Lake compressed 34 years of research into a 7-minute audio track, and the original price was $49. For people who find this message, the price is $39, one time. no subscription. And when you step through that door, you are not just receiving the core technology. You are receiving 4 additional pieces: a calibrated track for children called Genius Child, the original book that The Secret was inspired by, a 22-minute guided visualization walking you through 4 domains of life, and a 5-habit infographic for keeping Gamma active once it reactivates. $80 in bonuses on top of the $39 core. And all of it is backed by a keep the bonus guarantee. 90 days to decide. If you refund, you still keep the $80 in bonuses as an apology for your time. Every day that Gamma stays dormant is a day your decisions stay heavier than they need to be. A day your relationships stay more effortful than they need to be. A day the receiving state stays locked. The version of you who crosses round 8 is looking at this exact moment from the other side as the hinge. Not a perfect decision, just a correct one. Not asking for certainty, only the first step. Before you search for this anywhere else, you need to know something. There are imitation tracks claiming to deliver Gamma entrainment. They do not. The only place, Dr. Lake's actual calibrated work lives, is the link in the description and the pinned comment. Anything else is noise shaped to look like the real thing. The Genius song is in the description. The link opens a single page. The decision is between you and what your spirit already knows. Now, let me return to you, whether the tool becomes part of your crossing or not. And for many of you, it will be. There is still the work of how round 8 is lived. Let me finish what I started. Before this message closes, I am going to speak something specific over your life. And I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I speak at the close is the reason this message was placed in front of you tonight. But before the declaration, one more piece of work. Remember what I named earlier about the self-sabotage temptation at the threshold? I want to come back to it now, because the next days and the next weeks are when it will try to show up. It will come in specific shapes. It will try to get you to pick a fight with the one person who has stood by you the whole climb. It will try to convince you that the crossing is not quite right yet, and you need to wait another season. It will whisper that round 7 did not really count, and you need to repeat it properly this time. It will offer you a new obstacle to push against a problem, a crisis, a distraction, because pushing against an obstacle is familiar and arrival is not. When it comes, and it will, I want you to do one thing. Name it. In your head or out loud, say, "This is the old nervous system looking for a climb. I am not in a climb anymore. This is the crossing." And then let the thought pass without acting on it. You do not have to destroy the threshold to feel at home. You can walk through the threshold the way it was designed to be walked. A little tired, a little uncertain, still chosen. And now, because the climbing is done, let me name who you actually are. You are the cycle breaker. Not just someone who healed your own line. Someone who broke the pattern that would have passed to the ones who come after you. The 7 rounds did not only transform you, they cut the line. What dies with your completion does not rise in the ones you influence, not in the ones you raise, not in the ones whose lives will touch yours in the coming season. That is what a cycle breaker is. You carry that name because you paid for it in the quiet. You are the truth carrier. You cannot live in rooms where words mean the opposite of what they say. You never could, but the 7 rounds sharpened it. Your spirit learned, through round after round, to detect the exact distance between what is spoken and what is true. You will walk into round 8, unable to unsee what you see. And that is not a burden. That is the assignment. The rooms that need the truth carrier cannot call for you by name. They can only become rooms the truth carrier walks into. And you are being walked into those rooms now. You are the hope restorer. You enter rooms where faith has quietly collapsed, and without trying, without preaching, without performing, you hold the space open long enough for something to be re-believed in. You will not have to explain what you have. You will be evidence, and evidence is what restores hope that explanation cannot. That is the reason for the 7 rounds. The rounds were not to make you impressive. The rounds were to make you evidence. Let me stop once more. We have been walking together for 35 minutes. What comes next is not teaching. What comes next is an activation. And I want you to come into it with me. Fully present, not rushed, not scattered. Take 1 breath, not to prepare, just to arrive. Now, inside your mind, not in your body, inside your mind, I want you to stand up. You are at the base of the 8th camp. It is pre-dawn. The sky is just beginning to change color. You are looking up, and the summit is no longer hidden, the way it was back at Camp 7. It is visible now, silhouetted against the waking sky. Notice something. Your gear is beside you, not on your back. You have already put it down. Look at the path in front of you. It is not ascending anymore. The climb is not ahead. The path in front of you is a level walk across a plateau. The plateau between the climb and the arrival. The climbing part of the mountain is behind you. At the end of the plateau, you see a figure. Not far, not close. And as you focus on the figure, you realize something. The figure is you, already arrived, already standing where you are walking toward. The arrived you has one thing the climbing you does not. Stillness. Complete stillness. And the arrived you is not impatient. The arrived you is not calling you forward with urgency. The arrived you is simply there, waiting not for you to hurry, but for you to cross. The plateau is 8 minutes long in your imagination. Walk it. This is not a regular visualization. This is an activation. What you just walked in your mind is the neural pattern of round 8. The plateau is not metaphor. It is the specific state round 8 is lived from. And your nervous system just practiced it. Let the image settle. The arrived you is not somewhere you are going. The arrived you is the one who has been walking since round 1, and who has already met you here at round 7's end, at the beginning of the plateau. Before the declaration, let me witness for you what this moment is. You have walked 36 minutes with a message that was placed in front of you tonight for a reason. You did not have to stay. You stayed. The Father sees every round you walked in silence, every room you left without explanation, every prayer whispered when no answer came, every night broken by dreams you could not hold by morning, seen, counted, sealed. Now, picture the exhaustion of the 7 rounds as a cloak you have been wearing. It has been heavy. It was faithful. It carried what needed to be carried. Now, in your mind, slowly, very slowly, let it slide off your shoulders. Feel the weight go. You are not asking permission from anyone to put it down. The rounds it was built for are complete. Let it go. And I hear the Father declaring over you at this hour of your crossing. I did not bring you to round 8 to test you further. I brought you to round 8 to receive you. The oath is complete. The 7 are sealed. You are commissioned, not sent out, sent forward. Not to prove, to walk. Not to earn, to inherit. Walk into the 8th, not as one hoping to cross, but as one who has already crossed and is now unfolding what was always sealed in the oath. What waits on the other side of round 8 is not the absence of journey. It is what Dr. Lake and the ones walking this path have sometimes called destiny's embrace. That is a conversation for a later season. Today is the threshold. Today is enough. You are not alone in this hour. All across the world, chosen ones at round 7's end are receiving this same witness tonight. Some of them you will never meet. Some are quiet at this moment, being seen. The crossing is a shared season. The oath is complete. The 7 are sealed. The plateau is open. The arrived, you walks toward you. And you are walking toward you. Meet each other. In round 8, it is sealed. What just happened in you was not a passing moment. It was a witness. Let it live in you. If something shifted when you heard the Father say, I brought you to round 8 to receive you, take a moment and type, I am ready, in the comments. Type it, not for me, not for the comment section. Type it for your own life. That declaration, typed by your own hand, is the beginning of you agreeing with what was just spoken over you. And your like on this message, gently press. It is not a number, it is a signal. It sends this witness further into the dark, where another chosen one is standing at round 7 tonight, wondering if they failed. Your press is how they find this. If this message found you at the right hour, there are more words being prepared for the seasons that follow round 8. Stay connected so they can find you too. One last thing. Someone came to mind while you were listening. Someone who has been unusually quiet in the last season. Someone who has mentioned being tired in a way that did not match the ordinary kind of tired. Someone walking their own round 7 and wondering whether it is time to walk back down the mountain. Share this with them. Not because you want them to do something, because they need the witness. You do not have to have crossed before this message ends. You only need to know the threshold is real and you are standing inside it. The rest will unfold. And so it is.